Welcome to this edition of Wide Format Short Talks. Today's topic, Instant Access. Don't have or know how to use Document Submit, but you still want simple job printing, getting multiple sets scaled to the same size and collated each time? Then Instant Access should be helpful to you. FreeFlow Accxes version 12.5 introduced Instant Access, the ability to create up to 10 active folders, each having its own print setup. Users can then drop print files into these folders, and Access will print them according to the folder setup. Before you can use Instant Access folders, you'll need to find them. The simplest way to do this on a Windows-based PC is to use the run command, and before that you'll need to know the controller's IP address. Once you have that, you can do the following. Click Start, then Run. Enter the IP address for the controller, not the IP address shown here, the one for your controller. Then click OK, and see a dialog showing 5 Instant Access folders for this 721. There can be a maximum of 10, and in this case the administrator has only enabled 5. Let's try that with a printer with a different IP address. Click Start, then Run, enter the IP address for that controller printer, click OK, and that brings up a dialog showing only 2 Instant Access folders for this 6204. When I look at those folders in the dialogs, I can't tell which folder does what. For example, in this dialog we're seeing 5 folders, but how do we know which one might give us D-size prints and which might give us collated sets? To find out, we'll need to visit the controller's web page. So let's open a browser, enter the IP address, and look at the Applications tab. So let's open a browser, enter the IP address for the 6204 we just looked at, which brings up the Web Printer Management tool. Select the Applications tab, which brings us to the Instant Access Server Setup page for this 6204. There we can look at Instant Access folder number 1, which shows its 1 copy, Architectural D, and Scale to Fit. Instant Access folder number 2 for this 6204 is 2 copies, Architectural B size, forward collation, and Scale to Fit. Let's take a look at the Instant Access parameters for the 721 we just found. Enter the IP address, brings us to the Web Printer Manager tool, select the Applications button, takes us to the Instant Access Server setup for the 721, and we can see that Instant Access folder number 1, no collation, Scale to Fit. Using the Run command to find available Instant Access folders and then trying to remember which folders do what is not very productive. If you're going to use Instant Access on a regular basis, here's a simpler way. Copy the Instant Access folders to your desktop and rename them with more friendly names. Let's see how to do that. First, make sure you have a dialog open on your desktop. Then drag the folder of interest to your desktop, right-click on it, select Rename, and give it a meaningful name, one that corresponds to the characteristics of the folder. Let's repeat that for the 6204. Drag to the desktop, right-click, rename, and type in a meaningful name. That's it. Now that we have a couple of Instant Access folders on our desktop, let's put them to real use. Let's open a dialog to where our print files are, select the ones we want, and then drag them to the Instant Access folder we want to work with, in this case the 721. You must remember to only drag and drop print or plot files. Do not use native files such as DWG, DGN, etc. These files are not understood by the controller. Now let's take a look at Instant Access from the setup side. The administrator has 2 main tasks. 1, set network parameters, and 2, set folder print parameters. Let's take a look at how those are done. All Instant Access setup is done with a web browser. So open a web browser, enter the IP address for that controller, which takes you to the Web Printer Manager tool. There you'll need to log in. So enter the password and submit. Next, choose the Applications page. There, for Instant Access Server, you'll need to assign a server name, server description, Print Server workgroup. After you've done that, enable Instant Access and click the Submit button. Next, you want to set the print parameters for each folder you want to use. So on the Instant Access Server Setup page, choose the folder you want to work with. In this case, we'll use number 3, set it for 10 copies, forward collation, adjust the media size so everything comes out as architectural D, and lastly, set it for scale to fit. Once you've got your settings, click the Submit button and you're ready to go. Okay, that's it for Instant Access. A few points to remember. Use Instant Access folders for multiple printers in multiple locations. Up to 10 Instant Access folders per printer. Only administrators can set printer defaults. Find Instant Access folders with IP addresses. Simplify things by copying folders to the desktop. Collation follows alphanumeric rules. And only use print plot files, not native files such as drawing, DWG, and so on. Well, that's it for this version of Wide Format Short Talks. Thanks for listening.
Oh.